Welcome back to Contractor Corner, again with Walt C. from BLÜCHER. Walt, we kind of did a high-level overview of everything, BLÜCHER, fittings, pipe, right? Talk to me about HygienicPro and what this really does and why this is different from, conventional trench drains.
Sure.
Yeah.
So from a contractor standpoint, install standpoint, all our HygienicPro comes with a wood paneling, profile extruded plastic. So it already has its covering. You're not having to come in, cut wood, tape off the sides of the trench and worry about it getting dinged up during the install. Mm-hmm. So the key is actually you're leaving this in. As you connect it to the piping underground, you're leveling it, pouring your concrete with all of this there. So then once the concrete sets, you rip this out, and on the profile extruded section, you're actually creating your chase or keyway. So you create more of an area where the floor coating meets the concrete, meets the trench, and that's where it's most needed. So that assures us that you're getting the right amount of floor coating, or at least at that spot where it's most vulnerable.
And I noticed you got a round shape on here too, so unlike traditional trench where it's got the rectangular profile, that round is probably made for a certain design, right?
Right, what it does is actually dissipates all potential from a contraction expansion standpoint.
Yeah, because it wants to move, right? The concrete
you
wants
have
to move.
different chemicals, hot and cold temperature changes, so that all creates stress in the trench itself. With the rounded edge, there's not one focal point or 90-degree corner that all of that pressure sits, and that's where you're going to see a lot of the cracking potential in all floor drains right at that corner. So what this does is creating it rounded, just dissipates that, puts it through the entire trench at a weaker force, right? So you don't have that, you're minimizing that potential of cracking. The other thing is we have additional anchor tags. So they line the entire trench, so you're getting more roots of a tree. Okay. Basically, kind of the more roots and deeper the roots have of a tree, the stronger it can handle wind, right?
Yep.
So keeping that in, so it's keeping its place in the concrete. We do have the epoxy infill that's already installed coming out from our facility in Fort Worth.
Okay. Does that act like a bit of an insulation or a vibration?
It creates, gives the trench more strength, more durability. It eliminates any potential from a pocket water or water collection underneath the trench. So water will find a way into any kind of hole around or underneath. Obviously, if you have that locked down from a floor coating standpoint, floor concrete standpoint, with the epoxy infill, you're closing off all areas of where water can go.
You're taking that potential spot away, essentially.
Exactly.
Okay.
The other thing with HygienicPro that's nice is the V-shaped design. So from standard trench, you have a lot of kind of the waste baking in the trench. You have to spray it down. They have to scrub it off. It's basically, it gets everything to the bottom center, and then the water pushes it out to drain fast. Okay. So it keeps the trench a lot cleaner, less water in the cleaning process, less cleaning, less labor to clean.
So the design by nature keeps it essentially more hygienic, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So HygienicPro, also in the BLÜCHER family, right?
Yes.
And that can, I'm willing to bet, can be tied into any of the conventional systems here in the BLÜCHER family as well.
Exactly. So there's multiple different drains or sump outlets you can use. This is a low profile, kind of the smallest drain, getting into a lot larger depth from that standpoint, so you can filter more from solids and waste in food production.
And like with any floor covering top, you can have different floor ratings. So whatever size or weight's going over top of that, we can accommodate that too.
Yeah, the main thing is just the load factor rating.
Yeah.
So knowing the load factor rating, knowing kind of the harborage potential and what you want to eliminate, the more that we know those issues, we can kind of steer people with the right grading.
So BLÜCHER and the Watts family of brands, we want to learn more. Where do we go on the website?
Go to BLÜCHERpipe.com.